But now I'll rise above you.
It is done, Tenno.
So Baruch is a badly designed frame? His design is whimsical. Let's put it that way. It's not bad, obviously. It's really, really good. Really effective. It's just too much of the same unnecessary things stacked on top of one another that are totally not needed. At all. Like, at all. Come on now. A frame that can infinitely crowd control and thus avoid all incoming damage also can damage reduce more than any other frame. What? It's just strange. Was their test child of a god-tier frame locked behind a meter of sorts, but being the first, of course, he's unbalanced for players broken in a good way. Yeah. I think that if DE touches Baruch ever and makes him more sensible toward balance, I think they'd piss off too many people. Honestly, I think they'll probably leave him as is. Baruch is overkill on how much stuff he can do with how good he is. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Just one of his many aspects should not be a thing. Just one. And the trauma alt-fire exists. Yeah, I don't have that shit yet. I don't think I'm going to have it for a very long time either, because I cannot be bothered to farm tokens for the granny tokens just to get Seriglass. I think that if I would, from now on, right, start to go for the tokens that I need for the granny to get the 2 Seriglass that I need, right? If I were to do that and nothing else for as long as I want, so I could do it for 20 minutes every day if I wanted to. I could also do it for 8 hours if I wanted to. But I would do nothing else gaming-wise. I am certain that I would uninstall Warframe. That's how pissed I would get. I still need to get the Helminth in the ship and the damn robot. Yeah, I only got the Helminth. I only got the Helminth so far. I don't have my own mech yet because I can't be bothered. I don't have the Seriglass, obviously, because I can't be bothered getting granny tokens with other tokens, which I can only get by doing the shit that I hate doing. So, yeah. The Necroloid and the dysfunctional family. Yes, I did hate it. Yes, I regret it. Fuck my life. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Because it's, you know, layered and forced. It's not the way a game should be. Like I said in the last stream, I've made this kind of... I find it funny and kind of interesting analogy for Warframe. Warframe is the only game that I know of that has successfully made people pay money to not play it. The Helminth system? You mean? Or do you mean the helmet and systems of Shaka Zulu, perhaps? I'm guessing the Helminth system. The segment. I agree. I mean, I got it too, and I was very, very frustrated. On release, yes, there you go. On release, starting and getting into it and starting to understand what all is going on and stuff like that, I instantly didn't want to play anymore. You know, instantly. The bounties, I don't mind so much. Yes, they are repetitive, of course, because it's like only, what, 3 different types of missions there or something, or 4. Of course it's repetitive. It's also repetitive because you're forced to do them several times. You know, if you would only have to do them a handful of times or whatever, you know, just for shits and giggles, I guess, then it would be a different story. Then you wouldn't feel it as repetitive because you wouldn't have to do it more than you would want to. Evil autospell corrected me. Yeah, damn technology. Rio, the mechs are the only fun thing about this update. Not counting the new guns, sure. I guess. I mean, I guess for a lot of people, the Helminth is also very, very fun, because the Helminth was like the main drawing point of the whole update and whatnot. For a few people like myself, I think that my mentality is in the minority, and that's probably a good thing. But for me, I don't care so much for the Helminth system. Not for the way that it's structured, but for what it actually does. I mean, the way it's structured is like a whole different gripe. Having slots for abilities after having to farm the shit out of it to begin with, to me is just retarded nonsense. That's like just pissing, shitting, and slapping us in the face. Oh, and spitting, right? Total disregard of player investment and time. Not okay, but that's a different story. But the Helminth, what it does with putting abilities from whatever frames on other frames and stuff like that, not a fan, really. Not really a fan. Velocipod, best edition in my opinion. I hardly ever see those little shits. I've been on one twice, I think. The grind is too high for Deimos since the Plains of Eidolon. Every update ups the requirements for standing and grinds to a hold more and more. Nah, I don't exactly agree with that. I don't think that the grind has become more. I think the grind has actually become a little bit less, but like 0.5% with each update. And that 0.5% is not because of the amount of grind that you do, but because of the way you grind and rank up. But it is still layered, and it is still layered in the exact same goddamn way. And that is super annoying. One of these days, I'm going to make a chart. I'm going to make a chart where I very, very clearly visualize the steps necessary. The steps necessary to get, I don't know, the Warframe or the weapon or the whatever the highest tier reward shit is, right? In Plains of Eidolon, Fortuna, and Heart of Deimos. And you'll see that it's pretty much identical. They're like triplets. Which is, it's crazy to me. It's truly nuts to me. Slots aren't really a compromise. I still don't have max slots. Feeding every day. I found out that Octavia is a beatmaker Warframe. I'm more surprised at you not knowing that from the get-go, because that's literally her whole theme. The slots were like ordering pizza, but getting a piece of shit as pepperoni. Helminth is just putting some crappy skills from one Warframe to another. No, exactly the opposite. DE, please custom Velocipod to replace K-Drive. That would be nice. A Velocipod K-Drive skin, maybe. That has some kind of utilities along with it, perhaps. I don't know. Also, hi Jizo. Hello, Snake. For me, the best part of the update is the ISO vaults. Sure, grinding sucks, but honestly, it is a good game mode. Hoping they keep up that aspect. I can agree with that. Out of everything that you can do in Heart of Deimos, the vaults are by far the only thing interesting there, or intriguing, I'd say, or hell, even fun. I like the concept of those, of breaking into this vault and whatnot, and then, oh shit, there's a mech. You gotta murder him and then do the thing and whatever. Again, what I kind of don't understand, though, is why not have varying vaults at random? Or maybe not at random. I'd probably do it randomly, right? Varying vaults instead of bounties. You know, the whole concept of bounties, no. No more mission, go out into the plains, jump from all over the place and do a little thing there, like a little defense and a little interception here, and then yeet, and you're done. Great. Job well done, bounty complete. No, forget that whole concept and then just do more volts there instead, which could be like the Deimos thing, you know? That would have already made Deimos feel much, much different, not be copy-paste, right? And it would also make sense that Deimos is a fairly small map. I mean, it's a tiny-ass map, right? It's hardly open world, right? But you could have done, like, varying vaults and stuff like that have some elements of surprise in there. Like, right now, you know exactly you're going to here, you're going to do a thing, then you're going to go underground, then do the toxin thing, and then go deeper into underground, and you know you're going to find 1 mech the first time, then 2 the second, and then 3 the third. It's always identical. Yes, there are secrets down there and whatnot, blah blah, great, fine and dandy. You may or may not find them and open them, or just not care. It doesn't really matter or do anything for you. But I think that there was definitely a hit and miss right there with variety with vaults and by themselves. Silver, see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Making a legendary in Guild Wars 2 right now, which is a fucking tedious grind, is still somewhat fun since getting it makes you go through almost all corners of the game you haven't seen for a while, and it feels like an actual journey towards something epic. I've noticed that too with the sky scale. I think it's fair to reason that the sky scale farm, which is a dragon mount and is arguably the best mount because it in a sense does everything that all the other mounts do as well. Arguably that one is the most annoying grind, and it is layered behind a lot of shit, but it's more like tasks. Complete this task and you're like, okay, how do I complete this task? Like, for example, it'll say feed your sky scale shrimp meat, just as an example, right? This is part of the task to raise the damn thing, which is also cool. The sky scale, you actually get it as like an egg, and you save it, and you nurture it. You actually raise the damn thing. And there's like a part in Guild Wars 2 where the sky scale becomes of age, where it's just a little baby and it looks really cute, and you can play with it and stuff like that. That just kind of like makes you actually care about this beast, right, in some way or another. Not like cool bros, oh look, an incubator thing here, have some DNA and some eggs and shit, and oh look, a pet that always dies in mission. No. So you have to nurture it and actually raise the damn thing, and it becomes a teenager eventually, right, and starts acting like a teenager, starts running away, and you have to like chase it down and shit like that, which can be annoying, I guess, for some people when they have to teleport all across the map to find the damn thing. But it is, like Yokoka put, it is a journey. You know, it's not something dumb and just let me go stand in this spot right here for 15 minutes and defend something. No, it's more like a journey, and you have to use your head a little bit, because the tip will only say that it's in this area, right? And you're like, okay, wait a minute, this area, I have to talk to this trader dude, which one was that again, and whatnot. And for example, it'll tell you to feed your sky scale to raise it and, you know, nurture it and give it proper nutrition. It'll tell you to feed your sky scale shrimp meat, as an example. And then you're like, okay, where do I get this shrimp meat, right? And then the tip for that one task will read, shrimp meat can be found or dropped by these and these and these enemies. And you're like, okay, next question, where do I find these enemies? And then you can either remember where you found them, or you can take a gamble and just go kill some stuff where you think they drop. Or you could just quickly Google it really quickly, what drops shrimp meat, which is super easy. And then just go and start killing those enemies. And after a couple of kills, it's not like 0.00 drop chance, right? You'll have it. Oh, hell yeah! Audi Owl! Owls, what's going on? Welcome! Raid! They would make it more like Guild Wars 2 with its little half randomized events within the open world. That would be nice too, yeah, definitely. Adiao, thank you so much for the raid. Oh, look at the 3 hearts. Thank you. Oh, kawaii. Shut up. I have a headache. Leave me alone. Hello, owls. What's going on, guys? Welcome, people. Def. we were just talking about tedious, repetitive grind, yada yada. Idea that would have made harder demos maybe much better. Discard the idea of bounties altogether, and instead maybe implement varying vaults, because the vaults are arguably, I think, the most fun, most interesting game mode that came with the whole update, right? And yeah, and then we kind of digressed a little bit with the comparison with Guild Wars grind versus Warframe grind. What did I just see? My eyes. You're very welcome. You've been blessed. Can I eat shrimp meat? I don't know. I just like eating shrimp, and would feel it'll be fun to have it in game. What where though? In Warframe? God, my butt hurts because this chair I'm sitting on is bad. I can recommend this one that I'm sitting on right now. Don't mind the panda thing. It's I don't know what it's called exactly, but you can find it on Amazon, I believe, for like $130 or something. And I've been sitting on this thing for like 3 years now or so, and it's totally fine. Going from a kitchen chair, a shitty kitchen chair, to this. And I'm saying 130, 140 or so bucks is like nothing for a gaming chair. It's Diablo something. Diablo something. Your butt will be very happy. Mine was, for sure. More so my back, though. Literally me with my first coup, bro. Oh, cool, I can have a pet. 24 hours to incubate. Okay, I guess that's fair. The next day, mature to adulthood to bring with you. Wait, I was expecting a Tamagotchi. Yes, exactly. Also, same. I thought so too. I was like, oh man, you can have pets in this game. Ooh, damn, that's so cool. I can't wait to feed it and like play with it, or whatever you do with, you know, pets. Nope. Not at all. Just every now and then give it a tetanus shot and you're good to go. Pat it every now and then for the only reason of bringing its damage and loyalty back up. Nothing else, which also depletes, so like what the fuck. And then you're like, okay, well maybe you can't interact with them all that much like a pet, like okay, whatever. But at least they'll be dope in mission now, like damn, I got a comrade with me. Spawn on an Earth mission 2 minutes later dead. And you're like, no. Also, wasted potential, yet again. Expanding the conservation to tame more of the animals that you capture would be super cool, but that would require DE to actually improve conservation. Yes, I know. I've been bitching about these things for... I don't know. Since the dawn of time, basically, at this point. It's been many years. I think the oldest video of me complaining or validly criticizing Warframe or DE with silly things and trying to help the game, the oldest on record video that I have is like 3.5 years old, or 4.5 even. So I'm not new to this stuff, and I have been trying to help this game out for ages, and I'm tired of doing it at this point, and I'm probably not gonna anymore all that much, because fuck me, then fuck you too, you know? But conservation, there's just so much potential all over the place, you know, with these things. You could have a fucking kennel in the dojos. Why are the dojos of all things in Warframe, why are the dojos an abandoned content island that serve literally no other purpose other than provide certain blueprints? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why are the dojos not the central spawn point instead of the freaking orbiter? You know, your lone Tenno just all alone somewhere out in space. Do you float in that damn thing forever? What? Why is a dojo not considered an actual starship? You know, like a Death Star thing. A hub for everyone who's part of that family or clan or that band of warriors and whatnot. That would make so much more sense. Games with way less money, way less players, way less resources have that in there. So don't fucking tell me it's not possible with technology and whatever, and it would like explode, melt Warframe and graphic card. No, shut up. The Cycle, for example, right, that we've played a couple times here on stream, they have a central hub right now. Every player that goes into the game spawns at the central hub, which looks like a super cyberpunkish kind of small city area and whatnot. It does look very cyberpunky. And everybody spawns there. Not every player in the world, obviously. It's in instances, obviously. Just like relays. That would be 10 times better. Now imagine things that you could do, little foolish things that you could do with this central hub, this dojo that you can expand and make sense to build larger and everything and make it like an actual home of the Tenno where their orbiters are docked along with their railjacks and whatnot. I mean, we have a freaking dry dock. Might as well park ships there. I mean, it's almost like it was designed for that, am I right? So imagine conservation could be turned into animals that you would, like a kennel at the dojo where you can go, or a zoo even. I know that's a little, maybe too much, but just imagine those animals that you capture would be displayed somewhere. Not all of them, of course, but up to a certain threshold, of course. And you could go and look at them, and you could pat them or whatever. Or occasionally there would be a dojo event where the animals run wild, where they've escaped their kennel. You're required to go there, a couple of clanmates required to go there and capture them in a very easy manner, just a very tiny, very quick minigame. Quick enough to not be annoying and be done within just moments, right? With not all that much effort, but still a little occasion that you can interact with from time to time, you know? There's just so much potential there for so many things. Something that I don't remember who said it, but I was talking to somebody about Warframe many months ago. I think it was even long before Railjack was a thing. And someone said, may have been on stream, and may have been in a personal call, I don't remember, but they said, the best thing that describes Warframe is that it is vast as an ocean, but as deep as a puddle. And that shit is so goddamn true that it almost hurts, you know? I love how every time I come in here, and there's generally a rant about Warframe going on. Rightfully so. Question, is your Guild Wars 2 clan, you mean guild, accepting people? I'd be needing a good Guild Wars 2 family. Yes, the guild on Guild Wars 2 is accepting people, always. There's literally no reason whatsoever to not accept new people. However, it's not a good guild yet. It's a noob guild. That nobody knows yet. Well, that's not true. Some people in the guild know how to do it, but we just aren't enough people and have enough understanding to actually build up the guild and be like really, really decent. But yeah, sure, you can join. Imagine dojo barracks actually being used as barracks. Yes. What? You could do that? I could show you how? Show me how. What? How did this rant start? We were talking about Heart of Deimos and its repetitiveness and stuff like that. And then we just kind of dipped into this direction, and now we're just kind of like sharing ideas and stuff like that, and how we kind of don't understand why Digital Extremes insists on just sailing by with being mediocre when they could be very easily absolutely fantastic. Warframe could, with not all that much effort, but a lot of focus, potentially become one of the best games in existence right now. Depending on, of course, how you judge it and whatnot. But it would probably be on the top 10 list of every game ever. You know? If with just a couple of changes. Just a little bit. Generally, what I'm talking about right now, though, is like the social aspect. With making dojos the central hub instead of being alone in your goddamn orbiter right here. What is it? Why am I forever alone here? Why am I alone here? Why? Listen, look. I can go to my railjack right here, right? I can go to my railjack right here. If I look out the window, hold up. If I look out my window, there you go. My railjack is parked above me. My ship, my orbiter, is literally docked in the railjack. Now just here, let's just have a logical question, okay? Assuming for a second you were actually a Warframe or a Tenno within this universe of Warframe, why the fuck would you ever in your life prefer to stay down here, right? Down here, all alone, in this cramped-ass little room that doesn't even have a bed or any kind of relaxation whatsoever, nothing, when you could be up there in a big ass battle station that has more than enough room for a little tiny mansion, right? Logically, you wouldn't spend your time down here. You'd be up in there. Same thing applies to a dojo. Why the hell isn't the dojo just up there? Why is my ship not docked to the dojo and connected? Why do I not just spawn in the dojo? And if I want to do a mission, I fast travel to my orbiter, for example. Why is it that I can't go to a navigation segment like here in the dojo, right? And when I pick a mission, so I choose some kind of a mission, blah, blah, whatever, there's a quick animation how my ship docks off of the dojo and flies off. Kind of like when you beat a juncture mission, or kind of like when you do it with Railjack, and it has that way too long but super cool animation, how you kind of like release from the dojo and fly off into battle. Why is that not a thing? Why are we here alone since forever? Just doesn't make any sense to me. Jizo just don't want to be alone. Listen, why the fuck do we have dojos? Why do dojos exist? Ignore the weapons and the Warframes there, okay? Why do dojos exist? They're literally useless beyond the weapons. The only thing that they do is consume resources, right? If this were the central hub, right? Your dojo obviously is going to look different, but if this was a central hub, everybody, every clan member that would play Warframe would start here. You would always have people here. It would always be active. You could put mini games in here. You could put the fucking frame fighter in here by default or whatever. You could do anything really. You could have like your kennel rooms or something, some kind of like social rooms or whatever. Hey, wait, why isn't this opening? Okay. You could have like your whatever stuff, you know? Make it a central hub and fill it with social activities. Small ones, mini things, mini games, whatever. Doesn't matter. Something. I don't get it. I don't get it. Tea time. Tea time. Omae wa mou shindeiru. They have so much potential, but they don't focus. They just keep trying new stuff rather than actually perfecting the stuff that's already there. Yes. And I think part of the problem with that is that I think that DE, Digital Extremes, the corporate body, again, let me point out that I do not mean any of the lovely people we see on the couch every week. That I'm not talking about them specifically. I'm saying the corporate body of Digital Extremes, right? I think that Digital Extremes is convinced that the only way that they can survive and bring in new players is by creating more awesome, fantastic updates that are copy-paste of whatever the old shit is. Because if you think about it, that is really Warframe's game now. It wasn't always that way, but it is now. Warframe lures you in with nice shiny trinkets and shit and gives you treats and whatever and a pat on the back. But if you want to play with the fun stuff, you gotta do some dumb stuff. Right? And it's been like that for years. And yes, they bring in new players. Every update, they bring in new players. I don't know how many. Maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. Hell, let's say 1 million new players. But while they bring out a new update every year or so, and bring in, let's say, 1 million new players or so, right? Out of those million, half of them or so don't even stick with Warframe. They play it for a little bit and they're like, okay, whatever, and they go play their other usual games, right? So now we're down to 500,000 new players. These 500,000 new players will play the game for a year or two or whatever. At the same time, though, every year we're losing 300,000 old players, and those old players are going out and actively encouraging people to not play Warframe because it's not worth your time. You know what I mean?
Oh look, a new follower, Peasant.
How is it that DE can't make hubs? You know what, guys? I'm gonna just show you. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you right quick. So don't mind the black screen momentarily when I log off of Warframe. I just want to show you, just want to visualize it, okay? I'm going to hop over to the cycle, okay, and just show you what I mean, because the best way, we can talk all day, but the best way to really bring the point across is if you can actually see it as an idea, just as inspiration. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys right fast. My clan tends to actively have little contests and giveaways with stuff. Yeah, we used to do that too. Since DE doesn't want to do that kind of stuff. Yes! I honestly would have never thought about that, but I completely agree. Awesome. Dojo could have just been a damn menu of gun blueprints and trade. That's literally that's it. Literally you could just put some fancy animations of ship for railjack, why wasted resources. Yes, yes, also very true. Okay, let me go ahead and capture the game. Are you gonna be good? Of course not. Fine, let's do it this way then. God, my brain is about to explode. The cycle, done. Alright. So this is a cycle, a free-to-play game that you can find on the Epic Store. You can see I'm loading in right now. Literally just logged in. I'm greeted with the please buy blah 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 stuff. Don't have to though, by the way. This is a game that we stream from time to time. Now, this is it. I just logged into the game. Just now. There was nothing in between, no instance, no nothing, and here we are at the central hub. Now just look around and take in the sights a little bit. This place looks interesting, it looks cool. This up here is my favorite, like this is like such a dope skybox. Look at that, it feels massive. Unfortunately you can't go there, but for this game you don't need to. In a game like Warframe, it would make sense to actually be able to go to these other stations. But yeah, here's your central hub. Here's your central hub. Now, imagine for a second that this is your dojo. Okay, this is implemented in Warframe. You would have an area where you can access the syndicates. Let's see, where's the closest syndicate? There's one back there, that Korolev yellow name back there. That's one syndicate. Let's see, where's a close, isn't there? Ah, wait, there's one right here in this building. So let's see, let's just say this here could be like Cephalon Samaris or whatever syndicate, or all the syndicates. Well, who cares? Doesn't matter. Could be a phone booth in here or some shit. Your clanmates all the while are running around here. All those people that you see running around down there, those are actual people, you know, about to play the game. Here you have access to the inbox in this game. You have access to... Oh, right, here's a thing that you could also do in Warframe. At this dojo central hub, you could have a button that you could actually click to go straight to the wiki, for example, which you could do here. Not wiki, but Discord, obviously. You have... Where's the weapons thing at? Let's see here. Oh, translated into Warframe, this would be your navigation. So this is where I would start a mission if I want to, right? Then let's see here. Ah, right, no, wait, that's the store. Well, I mean, okay, market could be there, Warframe market. Where is the freaking... Is this it? Let me just check right quick. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Where is the arsenal? Oh, loadout. Did I see loadout? Yes. Loadout. There you go, loadout. So this would be basically the arsenal in Warframe. Blah, blah, blah. You could do your weapons, your Warframe, whatever you want. All of this stuff could be accessible via fast travel as well. It would have to be that way. And you can see, this place ain't large, okay? It goes to that door back there, to the far door back there. That's it. It's not much larger than that. Now, of course, a dojo would differ, because a dojo you can make look however you want it, right? And make it as large as you want it too. But if you just look around, this is so much more alive than anything in Warframe, right? Except relays, you know? Why is this not the dojo in Warframe? And it looks interesting too. It's just kind of cool, you know? DE, are you watching? Take notes. Yeah, I know, right? What is this game? This is The Cycle. We stream this sometimes. It's what's it called? A PvP, PvE quest shooter, I think, is the right description for it. I think. I love the instant you're there already. No stupid load, no going back on and forward bullshit, unlike some games like Destiny. Right, Destiny has a similar concept where you're doing a lot of back and forth, and I haven't played much of Destiny. In Warframe, I definitely know. Warframe, you start in the Orbiter, and then if you want to go to Samaris, you got to go visit him somewhere, and this and that, and all this crazy shit and whatnot. But specifically, the dojos. After relays became a thing, the dojos finally got the final nail in their coffins. Dojos are utterly, completely useless now. And in a sense, they are content islands. The only reason why anybody wants to join a clan is they want the weapons and the warframes that they can get from clans, right? Or it's their favorite content creators clan that they want to be in. Those are the only two reasons. Those are literally also the only two incentives you have to even join a dojo. What if the dojo were a central hub? Like right here, this would be our dojo, custom builds with our, you know, whatever decoration and shit, really cool and whatnot. New rooms, of course, as well. You know, and maybe like one of the rooms or several of the rooms have like an actual skybox where you can see like several parked rail jacks or something or whatever. And if you want to go to your orbiter, no problem. You could physically go to your orbiter or skip going to the orbiter altogether by going to what would be navigations in Warframe. Going to navigations here, start your mission from here. Your orbiter will then you'll see a very quick cutscene where the orbiter detaches from the dojo, turns around and pew, flies off into battle, and then you load into the mission. Or the other option, click on navigations, enter orbiter, and you can go into your orbiter for whatever reasons. You know, the orbiter could also double as personal quarters because we do have the barracks in Warframe too, right? In the dojos. Why are the barracks? Why are they cryo-sleep chambers? Who wants to rest there? You know what I mean? They could be like actual rooms, like actual personal quarters that you could also personalize through customization. Imagine. So, yeah. And this is a tiny-ass game. This studio has no money. Okay? They don't have Warframe money, let's put it that way. They don't have Warframe money, they don't have the resources that Warframe has, just flat out, just straight up, that's just how it is, right? These guys here, the guys that designed this game, by the way, draw inspiration from Warframe, okay? I know this because I've spoken to the devs of this game. And they're also very, very nice, and they're also trying to do their best to make their game as good as they can and whatever. So that's all fine and dandy. But they draw a lot of inspiration the way DE handles their things and whatnot. In this game, it's completely unnecessary to have a central hub, and yet they have one. And it is good. It is nice. It feels nice to see this knucklehead down here running around not knowing where he's going, and that knucklehead. This could be clanmates. You know? Just standing here right now is already infinitely more interesting than just standing in my fucking orbiter alone. With Rombas. Kiss my ass. This game's hub at least looks cool as heck. Yeah, it does. It does, I agree. It's very interesting. Spacey and shit. Well, you could trade in Maru's Bazaar. Great. I just made my own dojo. I use it as a fuck off place. Make random rooms. Next on the list is making a small room with all these Prex cards. I mean, you might as well be collecting stamps, honestly. That sounds mind-numbingly uninteresting. It sounds like just doing something for the sake of doing it. You know what I mean? Good idea. Orbiter links to one of, say, 10 slots of a ghost clan, for example. Yes, exactly. Right? And you could, you know what? Let's go back to Warframe. I'll show you guys that too. What I mean, leave the game. Don't need this anymore. Hello? Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Booch. Let's go back to Warframe and I'll show you guys that too. What I mean, with the link and the orbiters and the barracks and that shit. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad, man. The potential is there. Every time, like, I shit you guys not, every time we talk about some ideas that I've been talking about for years now, the vast majority of you guys are like, yeah, that could be decent, you know, and that's like the worst response, right? Yeah, it could be okay. I mean, it can't hurt, you know, but many of you are also like, damn, that's actually kind of cool idea. Why doesn't DE listen? You know? Okay, so dojo time. All right. So here we are in our lonely orbiter. Let's go into the dojo. I mean, I know it's up an elevator, and there are only 2 or 3 elevators in this entire dojo, so. But this is the party room. There's no way it's up here. Unless. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so here we go, barracks, right? So for a second, remind yourself what the central hub in the game that I just showed, the cycle, looked like, okay? That is now your dojo. This is where you spawn in your dojo. Your dojo looks whatever it looks like. You got your clanmates running around all over the place doing their clanmate things and whatnot. And then you want to go to your orbiter. You know, you actually want to go to your orbiter. Then you could go to a door, let's say, like here, and it could be the same for everyone, because this is, let's say, the barracks for, like, I don't know, Ghost Clan or whatever, which means it needs to have 10 slots. But it would be silly to make 10 doors in here, or 100 doors, or even 1,000 doors. That would be silly, right? I mean, we get the picture, okay? There's another floor down there that's irrelevant. That's all, who cares? Fine, whatever. But then you could, like, go through this door, right? You go through this door, and after a very short loading, or maybe you press X or F or whatever right here to activate your personal quarters, you go in there, and guess where you would show up? And then you would show up directly in this area here, in this room. Let's say this is the door, and you come in through here, bam, you're in your personal quarters with your personal shit. It looks like a mess, probably. You know, you have maybe a slot machine in here, or your Kubro, your personalized favorite Kubro, whatever, who cares? Anything, really. And it would be bigger than this. You know, you could expand it a little bit, because it's your personal quarters. You know, you couldn't make it dojo big, but you could make it, you know, you could make it your own, like, home and shit. And that's it. There would be no door to your orbiter here like this, because that wouldn't make any sense either. It would look weird. I guess you could do that. You could put a navigation here, though, instead, and start your mission from here. And again, you'll see your orbiter fly off or whatever. But does that sound like it would make more sense and actually give dojos a cool social purpose, which I think is what they're supposed to be? I also kind of wish they would bring out the old dojo tiles. Love the look of them. Yeah, like, where are those? I really wish that enemies could invade our dojo and gunfight in our dojo. Oh, so you mean like the old solar rails that we used to have, aka derelict missions? No, not derelict. Nah, the other name. My brain is so overfilled with all kinds of Warframe names. I tend to forget a lot of shit lately. I think my brain is making room for other stuff. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that used to be kind of a thing, only it was Tennos, it was PvP. So Tennos could invade other dojos and actually fight it out. But that got removed because nobody's playing it, and yet somehow Frame Fighter still exists. But okay, I mean, what do I know? What do I know? What about loners who don't have a clan? You then simply don't have access to this dojo thing. You could maybe spawn in a shitty, boring-looking relay instead. You still have the social experience, just not the customization and camaraderie and all that stuff. Yeah, that would be nice, though. Warframe honestly captured me, mostly because I have very fond memories with Phantasy Star Universe on my beta, okay? I used to play it on my Xbox 360 when I had nothing else to play, and man, did I have a blast. Then the beta closed, and you had to pay monthly. Yikes, okay, subscription or so. I remember spending a bunch of time just roaming the planet's hub, chatting and socializing, literally just chilling, and it made me happy. Yes, I agree. I'd love that. There you go. I'm just able to log on star right? Star right? I'm gonna say straight. I'm gonna say that means straight. Straight to dojo itself is kind of cool. I think so too. Dark Sector. Thanks. There you go. Dark Sectors. Yes. But not PvP. Yes, but not PvP. Like I said, I mean, earlier, I think I mentioned it before the raid. We threw a couple of ideas around for what this central hub dojo could also entail to make it alive, more vibrant. Now, in the game Guild Wars 2, you have things that are called what are they called exactly? What's the accurate title? Well, it doesn't matter, but they have like events. that happen somewhat at random. So as you're just minding your business, running around the world, it could happen that a boss suddenly appears next to you, and you can choose to go kill him or leave him alone if you want to. So kind of derived from that kind of idea that something can happen at any time, right? Apply that to your dojo, not relays. Like, for example, it was a good point. If you're a sole Tenno, you don't play with anybody else, you don't have a dojo, you also have to spawn somewhere. So it could be your lonely orbiter, or it could be the shitty relay, both of which a downgrade from a cool-looking dojo with friends and whatnot, right? So assuming, though, you're at the dojo, and the conservation animals that you get would be loaded into, not all of them, but to a certain number of capacity, right, would be loaded into the kennel room in your dojo, right, or kennel placement maybe, so you could place it in any room you want, actually, rather than have to travel through half of your fucking dojo just to get to that particular room, right? So you would have like a little kennel, or maybe even a zoo room or something, and the animals that your clan mates and you conservate start to show up there, or conserve, they start to show up there, right? And then you could have like an event, a mini event that could be like an animal breakout. Like you get a little prompt in your orbiter, the Lotus could say it, Ordus could say it, Psy could say it, doesn't matter, any entity in the game could say, oh no, the animals are loose, bring them back or something. And then you can choose to go back there, and with very little effort, it shouldn't be like some difficult game or anything. Just a little mini game where you can just kind of like shoo them back to their whatevers, and as a thanks you get maybe some credits or maybe some XP or whatever. And if you don't do it, well, then you just kind of don't do it, you know? Stuff like that. Timed side events. Sure, that works, regardless of that not being the accurate name or not, you know? But yeah, the idea of connecting the dojo plus the orbiter would be awesome. Thanks! Yeah, fighting in your dojo would be super cool, like a Grenier invasion or something like that. Yeah, that could be a bigger event, you know, that you maybe have to tend to. Like, for example, if they're attacking the Grenier, they're attacking your ship, your dojo, for maybe a full 24 hours, so that, you know, people have time to actually log in and do something against them. And if you don't succeed, or if you're just lazy, or you ignore it, whatever reason, maybe the penalty could be that they will do some damage, perhaps, right? And disable a room or two. So you just can't enter them anymore, and it will cost you some resources. Not insane amounts of resources, but some resources. Some resources to fix it. You know? So you'd kind of have the trade-off. Do I go in there and just kill a couple of Grenier really quickly and assist my clan and repel them so that we don't have any broken rooms? Or do I ignore it and be a lazy bitch, risk probably getting kicked eventually because I'm a lazy bitch, and also having some rooms disabled, maybe even one that I might need, you know? So you have kind of like the risk and reward. It's like very concealed, very mini, nothing too crazy, but like just boom. Make it more alive. I think I should upload this whole thing to YouTube, honestly. Since I can't upload videos anyway right now because my fucking software isn't working. But maybe I should upload this to YouTube. Maybe some more YouTube peeps would be interested in what we've been discussing here. What about NPC like in Cetus Fortuna in Dojos? Yes, that was actually supposed to be a thing, which was supposed to be released sometime this year, which I don't see anywhere yet either. So, yet another thing that was mentioned and never heard of again. Kubelich takes over your dojo. If you fail to defeat it, it appears of what would be good. That would be good. Oh, yeah, but then what would the consequence be? Because you need consequences, you know? If you deal with it, some kind of a reward, doesn't have to be crazy, but something needs to be there. And if you don't deal with it as a clan, then some kind of a penalty, which also can't be crazy, because then it'll be annoying, you know? There's a back update where they can capture your dojo. Seriously, listening to this is depressing. Game could be so much more than this. Do you understand why so many veterans, I'm going to call them established players, because veteran kind of implies someone that's actually good at the game, which has nothing to do with it. An established player is someone who's just been playing for a long time, or not so long time, but has a point in the game where they don't need any other things. They just want to play it and have fun. Do you understand now why we are so frustrated, and why we are so angry, and why we are yelling at DE and stuff like that? That's exactly the reason why. And did I not say it about a couple, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes ago? Did I not say exactly that? Warframe is good. It's an alright game. Totally it's more than alright. If you're one of these established players, it's an alright game. If you're a new player, it's a really good game. The thing is, though, it could fairly easily be freaking fantastic, right? But nobody seems to give a shit. Yeah, that NPC crew for Railjack. From Railjack or something. Yeah, something like that, yeah. Yes, please, this whole stream has been full of not good but great ideas. Yeah. Per your idea of starting a central hub, do you think DE would have to rewrite some of the story or one of the quests that has to do with our operators, or would you do away with the whole operator quest and you just immediately have access to your operator? Oh, because of the one quest opening the personal quarters. They wouldn't have to rewrite any story because of that. Why can't a regular Warframe have personal quarters? You know what I mean? Plus, the personal quarters would very likely be something... Well, maybe you could have naked, kind of like default dojo rooms look, you know, very stale and just gray and very, like, not pretty at all. You could start with something like that and customize it as you rank up as a new player, you know? You don't need an operator to enter it, you know? You don't even need an operator to access it. Just change that a little bit. That doesn't even matter. It has no impact on the story whatsoever. Or it doesn't have to. Your actions have consequences. Yes, exactly. Your inactions have consequences, more accurately with this here, though. What if when you convert a lich, it will then live in the dojo? Should do that too, yeah. Have it as an NPC option or something that just kind of like walks around or... Okay, let's connect a few things, okay? So imagine your conserved animals show up in your dojo at your kennel placement thing, right? So you always have animals in your dojo, not running around freely, right? But they'll be in their little kennel area, you know, just to keep it clean. And then one of these little events that happens every so often happens where they escape. And your entire clan just decides to not put them back in their cages, like, nah, fuck it, I don't want to do this right now. Or they forget, or whatever, you know? A result could be that they shit all over the place, and once they're bored, they just return back to their kennels automatically, right? So that you don't actually, in case you ignore it forever, that they're not actually roaming around forever. They actually go back to their cages all by themselves, but only after they've shat all over the place. And then your dojo, that room where you have that placement, will be, well, dirty. Obviously, will be thoroughly defecated on, so spots everywhere just look not good anymore. And a lich, a converted lich that you put in your dojo, could be your maid. That could be the perk from having that NPC unlocked or farmed to put in your dojo. They will clean that shit up for you. If you don't have one, because again, you're lazy, then you have to clean it up yourself. Which again could be a very, very simple, tiny, mini task. You know, should it be too crazy? It's not supposed to be tedious. It's just supposed to be like a little thing like, alright, I'll do this right quick. Literally finish it in 5 minutes or less. You know, grab like a little vacuum cleaner device, whatever kind of thing, a Rumba with a stick on it or something. Go to a couple of marked spots at the dojo and do like this or whatever, and you clean it up. You're done in 2 minutes, literally. You know what I mean? Participation requirement from the entire clan membership, maybe 3% or something. So if you have a ghost clan at max capacity with 10 members in it, then 3 people will have to do that task to get rid of the shit at your dojo. Or have a lich there, and they'll do it for you. For example. There you go. Nice little circle. Oh god, everyone who enters the dojo gets a 1 week viral proc. That's a little. I mean, it's funny. It's really funny, but that's a little bit crazy too. There's too much of a problem. Or you get like a shit ephemera if you enter the dojo, which you will because you spawn there, right? You get like a shit ephemera that just lasts for an hour maybe on your frame. So every time you enter the dojo or past that room, you get shit procced. And your fashion frame is basically ruined for an hour. So you might as well clean the shit up so that doesn't happen. You know, now none of this shit is like insane or super tedious or even really necessary, right? But it's funny. It's funny. Like, I would love to log into Warframe just to check out what's going on in the city dojo, because dojos can get really big, right? What's going on in our little micro city, you know? But what's new today? Is there anything to do? Is there anything that we need to, you know, fix? And again, there needs to be a reward for doing it, because doing it just for the sake of doing it is a slippery slope. But doing the chore and getting a little bit of XP perhaps for your equipped weapons or whatever, or stored XP, or maybe some credits. You know, it doesn't have to be a lot, 1,000 credits or something for cleaning the shit up in your dojo. Just as a little, you know, little tiny incentive, like, I might as well do it, you know. I mean, it's free XP, free credits, why not? You know, or endo, or whatever, doesn't matter. And maybe you could do heists on other dojos. Yes, for sure, but I think that would definitely be something for later, because first you'd have to establish the dojos as a central hub and whatnot, which are all these things that we just mentioned so far over the past hour or so. All of these things are fairly simple, fairly straightforward. They will not require all that much crazy work, right? And yes, I'm not a programmer, but I can very, very safely assume that implementing the dojo as a central hub, and sometime later, not much longer later, adding like the conservation animals and the little shit mini quests and that kind of little stuff, right, will not take the amount of work and effort and time that Heart of Deimos update required. I think we can all very safely assume that that's just a fact, right? But being able to raid other dojos, that's a whole new game mode. That's a whole new ball game. Definitely should be on the table. We should definitely get that, right? Eventually. There should be some securities in place. There should be a way to opt in to being raided and being able to raid, and opt out of it. Because I, for one, I don't necessarily want to have to watch my back every time I log in because some clan decides that they want to raid us, right? I don't want to have to do that 24/7 all the time. No. I'd like to turn that shit off and be like, okay, we're in the safe zone. Nobody's going to rival us. Nobody's going to bother us. We'll be fine. You know, so stuff like that. But should definitely be on the table, because that would be really, really dope. Players, the established players are what made the game it is today, and it feels like DE has nothing better to do than to shit on exactly those players. Almost accurate, yes. The established players, that crowd of players that you accurately are accusing here, are definitely what made Warframe, open the doors for Warframe to go as far as it has come. And then the rest of your sentence is very valid, yes. But I think partially DE might not even have as much fault as we sometimes like to assume or simply claim, because you have to imagine that when you're a person, a public figure, a YouTuber / streamer like myself, or a gaming developing company with devs that show their faces on streams and stuff like that, so they put their personality out there and whatnot, like DE does, right? Then you are very easily bombarded with information or feedback or whatever you want to call it, right? There is no way in hell you can accurately, okay? There's no way in hell, take it from me as a content creator that deals with thousands of comments every day, right? There's no way in hell that you can accurately filter out comments that come from people that hate Warframe for the sake of hating it, that come from people who are Fortnite mains and played Warframe for 1 hour and are trying to tell DE how to play, how to design their game. There's no way to filter out people that love Destiny or Anthem but kind of don't like Warframe and want Warframe to be more like Anthem. There's no way to filter out people that are just upset children. There's no way to filter out, or filter in rather, the people like you and me right now that are very, very general and just fair and like, here are your issues, this would be nice to look at, here's something that the relevant community, not the snowflakes, the relevant community finds important, maybe you should look at this, here are some suggestions. There's no way to get only that feedback. The only way to measure that accurately is if you read everything. Everything. And Digital Extremes has no means to do that. So in other words, they're surrounded by tens of thousands of snowflakes that should probably better just shut the hell up because they don't know what they're talking about and they are actively ruining the game, right? And amongst those 10,000s of snowflakes, there are a couple of people that see the big picture and want to help the game and can give DE something very tangible to at least think about. You know what I mean? So not fluff that they have to sort out first, but just like, I'll take this idea exactly the way you said it, because this is a solid, thought out idea that we can work with. Present it to the board. The board could be like, yes or no. And then fine. And there's no way that DE can, you know, sort that out. But then again, yes, they could. They could. It would require effort. They would need, for example, something like the partner program and actually use it properly to ask us content creators that are partnered with them to help out a little bit. Because what we can do very easily is filter out a lot of stuff. I'm one of those content creators. I read all of your comments. I read all of the DMs that I get. I read comments and shit from other YouTubers. I talk to other YouTubers, so I catch what they're kind of getting also. I'm in several Discords where I mostly just lurk. I'm active in my own because I don't have the time to be active in others as well. But I do see some stuff here and there and whatnot. I read feedback. I watch the dev streams. I read the comments from dev streams. I read your comments, although I miss a couple. But generally, I do try to catch your comments and just generally your concerns. So I, as one example, can say that my feedback, if DE were to ask me, how do you think the community feels about Deimos? I can give them a very fair and very, very accurate representation of what the community feels like. Not everybody, obviously, but the majority. And the majority of people, and the fairest answer that I can say is, love the update, hate the fucking grind. Again. Period. One sentence. Nobody could refute that at all. That's just as accurate as it gets, you know? And DE should surround themselves with a couple of... a task force of content creators, partnered or not, it doesn't matter, where they know that that is the case. And I'm not saying that they should blindly listen to them like, yo, Jizo, what do you think we should do with dojos? And I'm like, Central Hub. And they're like, gotcha, buddy, we'll do it. That's not what I'm saying. But be like, we lurked on your stream and heard the Central Hub thing. Want to maybe add some more to the table? Maybe like a concept or something? A short video that you put on unlisted so that only we can watch it? And just put your thoughts in there? I'll be like, yeah, sure. You want me to grab some more feedback? Maybe make a video about it and, you know, and have people talk about it and see how they feel? And they could say, sure, that would help. Or they could say, no, it's fine. And then just use that as a, you know, well, a starting point, you know. Yeah, the community can be really noisy and I can imagine that it's a full-time job to draw something useful from that. Yeah, it is. Wouldn't it be great, where are you? Great to have some kind of advocate that can deliver the consents of at least parts of the community. Yes, let's call them consents creators. Oh, wait. Yeah, exactly. Oh, wait. Yeah. Yes, I strongly agree. Finally an incentive to convert liches instead of killing them. Yeah, exactly. And what I love about that example is it brings another full circle. Warframe is like a Dalmatian dog. You have it, the game is the white base dog, and the content are all the spots. Nothing is connected. Connect the damn stuff. You know, with getting the liches, you like, okay, do I use the lich so I can get my weapon, which everybody's going to do, but beyond that, you can also keep them, right? Convert them instead and do something good for your dojo. You know what I mean? Of course, not indefinitely. There would have to be some sort of a hard cap at some point, you know. But that could take a while, and if you decide to convert beyond that mark, then you only gain, again, your personal credits, maybe with a lich, I'd say, with the amount of grind you have to do to kill a lich, 3 or 4 hours, I'd say that like 50,000 credits or something is okay, you know, once you go beyond that threshold of what you can load into the dojo, so to speak. So again, a nice little... Liches would no longer be a content island. You would get something for killing them, even if you already have all the weapons. You know what I mean? That would be really nice. On YouTube, at least the reach will be greater. Yeah, and who knows, maybe something out of all of this will be taken into consideration. They could, let's call it a creator task force, right? And I've mentioned this a lot myself, right? And it baffled me that DE wasn't using the old partner program as exactly that to begin with, right? They could task their creator task force, which don't have to be partners. They're only for this particular reason. They could task them with like, hey, look, we're looking for some ideas, or hey, we had this idea for, you know, some future update, or pets revisited, or whatever. What are your thoughts? Could you guys maybe, if you have some ideas, conjure some ideas and make them in the form of video and grab some feedback, you know, get people talking about it, grab some feedback as much as you can and get back to us. DE wouldn't have to deal with all the snowflakes, or aka snow ogres, let's call them snow ogres, right? They wouldn't have to deal with that anymore, right? And the only thing that they would deal with is people that they can talk to one-on-one without getting disrespected, without being yelled at, without being told to go die, without getting telling them to go get cancer or some dumb shit, you know? None of that. Just straight up, a week later or 2 weeks later, that, okay, what's your feedback? And they'll deal with their 10 creators or 20, whatever, and it's 20 opinions that are solid and thought out. 20 solid, thought out opinions. Compare them to one another. Voila, you have the direction of what the community is kind of longing for. Opposed to a little Twitter post that nobody's going to see, right? With a bunch of, again, snow ogres. Right? I mean, we all know how the internet is. We all know how the internet is. When it comes to asking the internet for information, you're more than often just fucked. An example. I upload a video about the Zymos, let's say. So I do a Zymos verdict. The video is about the Zymos, right? What kind of a comment do I read below that? Zakti is better. Sure, be that as it may, but that's fucking irrelevant, you know? You know? Or things like, just use Kuva Nukor. We all know that the Kuva Nukor is the best fucking gun, more or less. That's not what we're talking about, though. Shit. Now imagine that times tens of thousands, and it's DE asking how do we fix our game. So, uninstall it, DE. You can't, it's broken. Anthem is better. Shut up, it's all irrelevant. That's not what we're talking about. Metal Gear Solid 5. The idea of maybe sending captured liches on their own separate missions to gather resources. We have something close to that, which are the extractor drones that you can get, but they're very, very passive and very, very forgettable and very irrelevant once you've been playing for a couple of months, because the yield that they get for the amount of time that they take, number one, you're better off going in with a farming squad, and you'll have 10 times as much as those things will get. And you have to keep on maintaining them. I don't know if that would make sense to give the liches a job like... The liches specifically a job like that, but have some kind of an NPC. Maybe have like a system where your dojo gains not XP, but reputation. And as you gain Jesus Christ, reputation, you... I almost hate to say this, but it's kind of like another syndicate system. As you gain rep with your own syndicate, yourself, so the dojo, your dojo becomes... More avenues become available to you, basically. So you rank up as you gain this rep, and you gain, for example, the ability to hire some drone kind of NPC or whatever that will do exactly what you just said for you, for example. You know, so that would be kind of nice. Anything like that would be really, really cool. I mean, you could do a lot of things, you know, there's a lot of stuff. Not everything is necessarily good or within DE's vision or whatever, but potential is there. I wonder how Warframe would have been if DE never listened to non-partnered players. Interesting, but it also kind of implies that they listened to partnered players, which I really don't think that they have. You know what the partner program was? In all honesty, you guys know I'm honest with you guys. I don't give a shit. Right? I do have some things to lose, but integrity is not going to be one of them. Okay? The partner program, as it used to be, right, was not what I suggested as like the creator task force where DE could use this as a pool of actual feedback and whatnot. No. It wasn't even a partnership in the sense of the word. Not really. No. It wasn't even an area where bugs were meant to be reported faster and fixed faster. That was done sometimes, but that wasn't what it was. The essence of the old partner program was kindergarten. I shit you not, the dumb shit that I read in general chat in there almost every day made me cringe. Can you imagine a 30-year-old being among a bunch of internet weasels that act like fucking children, but are partners? I could not believe... I can't go into details, of course. Well, actually, maybe I am allowed to go into details now since the program doesn't exist, so the original NDA agreement also doesn't really exist, I guess. But I choose not to, because it's kind of a dick move also. And I don't mean to expose anyone in particular. And it wasn't anyone in particular, it was just a group of dumbasses, I'd say. Not dumbasses because they're actually unintelligent or bad people, but dumbasses because they behave like children in a fucking partner program. You know, in a partner... You're partners with people that develop a game. Very professional people that take their job seriously and whatnot, and you're acting like kindergartners. I was in awe. I could not believe it. I had heard stories before I got into there, but when I was in there, I was like... Ah!